Welcome to the Explainer. I am so excited to be guiding you through today's topic. Listen, if you've ever stared at a web hosting catalog filled with endless options, confusing acronyms, and all that dense technical jargon, and just felt completely overwhelmed, you are in the exact right place. Today, we're going to take what looks like a ridiculously complicated menu of services from Hostinger, and we're going to transform it into a really clear, simple, actionable guide for building your very first website. The goal here is simple. By the end of this explainer, you're going to feel totally empowered, informed, and ready to carve out your own space on the internet. Let's kick this journey off right at the front door. Hello, how can I help you today? That friendly little greeting right there is from Cody, the AI assistant, and it's exactly what you'll find when you first start exploring these hosting services. I love starting here because it frames your entry point into the digital world so perfectly. I mean, building a website used to mean knowing how to code from scratch or paying thousands of dollars for developers right out of the gate. But today it starts with a simple, friendly conversation. You aren't expected to know everything. You just have to know what you want to achieve. And honestly, this is all it takes to kick things off. Just a super simple reply, I want to create a website. It feels like a massive, overwhelming task, right? But it actually starts with just one very clear intention. The beauty of the modern web is that platforms are specifically designed to take this basic request and guide you through all the complex machinery happening behind the scenes. You just bring the intention, and the tools provide the pathway.
Okay, let's dive into this and lay out our roadmap. We've got 5 key stops on our agenda today. First, your digital address and land. Second, choosing your building tools. Third, selling online and looking pro. Fourth, supercharging with AI assistance. And finally, number 5, learning and fixing common errors.
To make this even easier to digest, think of it like building a digital house. We're going to move completely chronologically from zero to a fully functional online presence. Step 1 is the foundation, that's grabbing your hosting and domain. Step 2 is construction, actually designing the site. Step 3 is professionalization, adding in the business tools to make it a real venture. And step 4 is maintenance, which is just keeping it running smoothly and fixing the inevitable bumps along the road. All right, let's start with our very first phase on the agenda. Section 1, your digital address and land, laying the foundation. To have a website, you absolutely need a place for it to live. That's your hosting, your digital land. And this brilliantly illustrates the 2 main routes you can take. On one hand, we've got standard web hosting, which is built to host any site quickly, easily, and securely. Honestly, for beginners, this is perfect. But on the other hand, there's VPS hosting, which gives you full control with an AI-managed VPS. That's definitely the more advanced route. And if you're a beginner looking at a catalog, seeing VPS might just look like complete alphabet soup. So, what does it actually mean? Fortunately, there's a really great beginner-friendly definition right in the tutorial section to clear this up. VPS stands for Virtual Private Server Hosting. It's basically a service that provides users with virtual machines running on a physical server. Think about it like this. Standard web hosting is kind of like renting an apartment in a giant building where you share resources, right? While a VPS is like owning your own dedicated townhouse. You get more control, you get more power, and you have your own dedicated resources. If you're just following this simple guide for your very first website, standard web hosting is absolutely your best bet. But it's great to know what VPS is for the future when you're ready to scale. Now that we've secured our land, it's time for the construction phase. Moving into Section 2, choosing your building tools, from zero skills to CMS. Now, what's really interesting about this is the totally distinct paths available to you, and it all depends on your personal comfort level. You literally don't have to be a coder anymore. Check this out. If you want a completely hands-off approach, Horizon's Vibe Code websites let you just describe what you want, and the AI builds it for you. Zero technical skills needed. If you want a little more creative control, there's a drag-and-drop website builder so you can edit visually using templates. And for those who want to use the total industry standard, there's managed hosting for WordPress, powering your site with the world's leading content management system. Once the house is actually built, you're probably going to want to invite customers inside. Let's move to Section 3, selling online and looking pro, e-commerce and branding. This is the step where we elevate your website from a basic little hobby project into a legitimate professional business. The catalog lays out some really specific upgrades for this. First, for online selling, there's managed hosting for WooCommerce, which is huge for running a store. But looking professional isn't just about selling products, it's about how you communicate. That's why business email is so critical. Creating professional addresses builds immediate brand credibility. A custom domain email looks way more professional than a generic Gmail address. Plus, you can integrate Google Workspace to transform teamwork and keep everything hyper-organized if you're managing a larger crew.
But hey, what if you're a solo entrepreneur and you need some extra hands? Let's transition over to Section 4, Supercharging with AI Assistance, your 24/7 team. Let's move to and see how this builds out, because the sheer amount of AI and automation tools available today is frankly amazing. For instance, with one-click OpenClaw, you can run your own personal 24/7 AI agent. Just imagine having a digital assistant that literally never sleeps. For more advanced automation, there's self-hosted N8N to run custom AI workflows. And they even offer specific agents built to handle day-to-day business tasks. So you aren't just paying for server space anymore. You are effectively hiring a digital workforce and putting some serious operational power right into your own hands. Of course, every single construction project has its hiccups along the way. That brings us to our final agenda item, Section 5, Learning and Fixing Common Errors, Maintenance and Troubleshooting. So the crucial point here is that every builder makes mistakes. Running into tech issues is just part of the journey. You might be building your site and suddenly hit with a terrifying-looking string of code like DNS_probe_finished_NX domain. It looks like your computer is completely broken, right? But it's really not. It's simply an error that pops up when your browser can't find a website's IP address. The domain just isn't connecting. It's super common, it has a simple fix, and there are incredibly helpful tutorials dedicated to walking you through exactly how to solve it. You are never, ever left alone in the dark to figure out the technical jargon yourself. To prove that point, I have to share this quote straight from the hosting platform's own missing page message. It says, "Oops, you found our 404 page. This is not a fault, just an accident that was not intentional." I absolutely love that. It injects this really tasteful, humanizing humor into the whole process. It just normalizes the fact that accidents and broken links happen to absolutely everyone, even massive tech companies hosting millions of sites. So stepping back and looking at our entire roadmap today, we've demystified the catalog. We've gone from grabbing your digital land to deciding whether AI or WordPress builds your house, to setting up a professional shop, and even hiring your own 24/7 AI agents. The whole ecosystem is built to support you, and the power is totally in your hands. So taking all of this in, I want to leave you with one final provocative question. Are you ready to launch, grow, and succeed online? Because your new website is just waiting to be built.